She said that American soccer fans, most of them aren't smart. They don't know the game. They don't understand.
Gio.
That guy Gazpacho.
Forbes can take a lame gorilla, okay?
Advice, did you know that Arsenal died?
He's got me buzzing.
Up the Toffees. It's hard to up them anyway.
I'm gonna comment on that.
Boom.
Welcome back to Footy with the boys. Big episode, including a new segs with the boys team of the season so far. In our opinion, we'll have some debates potentially. Probably have a lot of agreements. We got some big news to start us off here before we get into our Gunners and Toffees check-in and the U.S. men's national team corner. We start with what is on the screen right now. Barcelona dismantling Real Madrid. Mike, Mbappe goes to Real Madrid. I think that the general consensus was they were just going to be like Galacticos stacked, winning everything. And Barcelona's just been like, let's play a 12-year-old at every single position and beat everybody. I mean, dominance here, Mike.
Yeah, dude. Mbappe had a phenomenal goal to start with. Probably his best, piece of play since he's been in a Madrid jersey. Great goal. And then it was domination. I mean, they had those front four guys out there on the field together. It just leaves a massive hole. There's 40 yards of space between the backyard or the back line and those attacking players. And when you're playing against Barcelona, who is one of the best transition teams in the world, you just get ripped apart. Pedri had all the space in the world. Gavi did as well. Rafinha and Lamine were untouched. I'm surprised Ancelotti didn't make any adjustments until later on. I mean, Madrid was never in this game except for the first 5 minutes. We even went down a man. Szczesny got a red card. Domination. Madrid's still doing really well in the league. They're doing fine in Champions League. So could win some things this season. The Supercopa is not the biggest trophy you can win, but anytime you win a CLASICO in dominating fashion, it's a good day.
Yeah. I mean, I think the whole thing is if you have these star players that aren't going to track back defensively, you kind of got to make up for it with all the other players chipping in. And when you have multiple players who aren't playing at all defensively, it's pretty hard to make up for those holes. Nick, Kvaratskhelia to PSG. He's right now the star man of a Napoli squad that is at the top of Serie A. Favored to win a second Scudetto in what, 3 years? They won it 2 years ago? I mean, he'd be a Napoli legend like Maradona, and still he says, no, fuck it, January window, I am out to PSG. 70 million is the rumored fee here. What do you make of this? Because this seems weird to me that he would leave this club middle of season, top of the table, to leave for PSG.
I mean, PSG still has a better project. Like, it's not like,
I mean, I guess, but
it's not like he's going to Man U. You know what I mean? Like if he's starting to think about maybe some, yes, I know, bad timing for that shot. Sorry, but it's not. I think they have more of a clear plan to compete European football than maybe Napoli does. Obviously, Inter made it pretty far a couple years back in the Champions League, but we've seen Serie A kind of get less and less of those shots in the champs. So PSG theoretically does have a clearer path, even though they always choke. And I'm sure the money must be way better at PSG than it is at Napoli. I don't care what Napoli's offering you. So see it for him. We'll see if they agree to terms. I know it feels like it's pretty close. I think the craziest part is that a deal like this is happening in January. Like, we don't usually see anything like this in January. I feel like the last huge transfer really was Aubameyang to Arsenal. And even then he was like 29, not someone who should be entering his prime. What's Kvara, like 25 maybe? Whatever he is. So maybe younger, I don't know. Yeah, 23. Something like that. But it's definitely an interesting one. Great get for PSG. Will definitely hurt the title chances of Napoli, but good for your boy Poli.
Yeah, I mean, those Serie A winger awards are looking a little bit more prime for Puli now. But certainly Inter Milan is probably just like, what the fuck? All right. We were already like in a hotly contested Serie A, and trying to win another Scudetto for them, and now the top team is losing their best player. Already lost Osimhen to Galatasaray. I mean, if you're a Napoli fan, it's tough going losing your top players like this. Speaking of losing, Nick, Arsenal did some losing here in the FA Cup to none other than Manchester United.
So
West Ham,
fucked
the
up.
other team in the Premier League, to be out of the FA Cup already. Nick, what do you make of the Man U loss in the FA Cup? Because I mean, it's the FA Cup, so depends on how serious you want to take it. Some teams take it more seriously than others. Arsenal have usually taken it pretty seriously and done awfully well. I've seen a lot of people calling out for Arteta's head for this one, and a lot of people saying not to worry. Where do you stand in terms of the spectrum here?
I mean, you if you're calling for Arteta's head, you're a moron who's ignoring context. If you're saying not to worry, you're a moron who doesn't realize this season's slipping away. So like this, injuries are all well and good. Odegaard out for October, November, fine. Get everyone fit for a title run, for a cup run, for any sort of run. I mean, this team's getting more injured by the minute. So it is a tough look. We definitely took it seriously. We started the best players that we could have had. At this point, it's either start them or start U21 kids that aren't even on the actual roster because our injured 11 is looking stronger than our normal 11. And it was tough. Jesus goes down with an injury in the middle of this one, who was finally starting to find some form. Havertz an absolute dud. I mean, Odegaard created 12 chances this game, by the way. 12 chances he created. And we were able to knock in one goal off of like poor clearance in a corner. It was all kinds of bad here. Arsenal's front line looks absolutely lost without Saka. I mean, do you want to say credit to Man U? Sure, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. But like Arsenal looked awful. They were atrocious on top of losing in the first leg of the other cup semifinal against Newcastle, where they literally played the exact same game, except they lost 2-0 to a better Newcastle side. So, yeah, I guess you can say silver linings. We're out of this. Hopefully we can get a little bit more healthy and a less congested fixture list, but we're still in the Champions League, so it's not going to be that much less congested. If you think this is the lowest moment, just wait until this weekend, because we got some 2 fixtures coming up that could put us in the mud even more.
Nick, let's get right on into that, because it is the North London Derby this weekend.
Derby.
Tottenham Hotspur, Ange Postecoglou, Mikel Arteta. It's a massive matchup here, and neither of these teams are necessarily riding in a hot streak by any means.
No, they are not.
I mean, I think there's a lot of questions to be asked of a lot of Arsenal players after recent performances, and certainly Saka is needed for Arsenal and what they usually do and what their identity really is. What do you see coming in this weekend? Because Arsenal aren't looking great, but I mean, neither are Tottenham. Does it still favor Arsenal a good amount?
This game's on Wednesday, FYI.
On Wednesday, yes. This is a Wednesday game.
No, I don't think it does favor Arsenal. I don't think this team at the moment can really play. Like, all you have to do is really, you don't have to do shit, actually. Just don't concede a corner and you'll probably win the fucking game. Like, you don't have to do shit against Arsenal. That front line isn't going to finish anything. Raheem Sterling came on and looked decent for 5 minutes and then did fuck all for the rest of the game against Man U. Martinelli still riding with the boy, but that man is as lost and as shot and as misused as a player can be in any pitch, in any club, anywhere. He is struggling. The midfield is lacking creativity outside of Odegaard. There is no creativity outside of Odegaard, for being honest. And Havertz is fluffing his lines left and right. So even Gabriel and Saliba defensively haven't looked as rock solid as we're used to seeing them. I don't know. At least Tottenham is going to have a better balanced team. They're going to be shit, but Kulu's still playing well, and they have the threat of Son. And Maddison has not been putting up goals and assists, but hasn't been awful either. It's going to be an interesting one, that's for sure. At least it's at the Emirates. We already played our away fixture of the North London Derby. After this game, we have Villa on the weekend. Unai Emery, we won a sloppy game against them 2-0 or 1-0, whatever it was at the start of the season. This one, we are going to be at much less than full strength. I don't know. I am okay with getting 4 points out of this. I am bracing myself for like 1 or 2, if I'm being honest. This team is mudded. I don't know what to do. It's not even like a character thing of like showing up and grinding out a draw. Like a draw doesn't really help us that much right now. I guess it's better than a loss, but we're slipping behind. People behind us are catching up a little bit. The race for top 4 is getting hotter, and we're looking like we're more a part of that race than we are a part of the title race at the moment. Hoping Nwaneri comes back soon, hoping Saka comes back soon, hoping Jesus comes back soon. All 3 of those have looked more serious, especially Jesus's and Saka's. I don't know. It is a tough time. I don't expect any reinforcements in January. I think the only thing that happens is maybe we call Fabio Vieira from Porto, but he hasn't even been playing there. So what is that really going to do? I don't know. I think you guys might have nailed it in the head in the summer when you said that you needed another player in that attacking line. That is very much showing itself to be true, I think, throughout the season.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the storyline of the season is injuries and depth. The starting 11, everything's perfect. Arsenal's going to look amazing like they have at points, but I mean, the injuries have just
not only that, guys that we've forgotten, Calafiori has missed so many games. He looks great when he's on, but he's missed so many. Timber coming back from an ACL, way too big of a load. Ben White, man. I mean, people seeing Timber, even me, like we're quick to tell Ben White, you're going to have to hold bench. Man, we miss that guy and his overlapping runs and the chemistry he had on that right-hand side with Odegaard and Saka and just the gamer that he was too. We miss him a lot. I love Lewis Skelly, but starting an 18-year-old at left back week in, week out, at least finally Zinchenko's benched. Like Lewis Skelly definitely took a spot as he should, but it's tough. It is tough going. That Raheem Sterling signing, which all 3 of us praised, like, oh, you get him on a free, some depth. I mean, he's just a name. He's just a body. He is a shadow of the former player that he used to be. He offers fucking nothing out there. It is tough right now.
Well,
I think you guys should make a loan for Rashford, so you could have 2 shit English players on each wing, and then Kai Havertz in the middle.
I'm just praying we submit like a 45 million bid for Mbomo, and he saves the day. That's my game plan.
Be a massive signing.
That would be something. I don't know if Brentford would let him go in January without a pretty large fee on him, but
we'll give you Sterling.
You have this game in the midweek. At the weekend, it is Aston Villa.
Unite.
How much do you need some results and 3 points even in these games to kind of keep the hopes of the title race? As you said, it's starting to get to be a bit more of a, hey, are we top 4 race rather than the title race? Do you need both these games to stay in that title race or at least keep that semblance of the title race?
I think again, I'll be pretty happy with 4 points. If we don't lose in these next 2 and are able to sneak one out, I'll be pretty happy. Both those games should be at the Emirates, I believe. I'm not sure about the Villa game. I know Tottenham is. It's just, they're injured, and so you want to say like tread water until they get back, but we're getting towards the business end, Once we hit February and March, we're halfway through January already. That is a time when you are supposed to set yourself up for that final run. And, if you want to say tread water through these past couple of games, okay, but they're not even doing that. They don't look good is the other thing. Even when we were injured, earlier in the year and like where people were criticizing us for being like corner FC, I still thought we looked solid, but we're losing some of the rigidity. We're losing some of the identity. I don't know. Thank God we have Gabriel Magalhaes, who just scores every goal for us, it feels like, but it is tough sledding. I think 4 points, you still feel good about getting yourself in position to be in the title race. If you get 2, you start looking around and you're like, ooh, I don't know, man. Could be tough.
Yeah, certainly will say a lot about this Arsenal team and their desires for what
Yeah.
the end goal this season will be. Mike, we moved to maybe you could say even a more positive place than Arsenal this week,
Oh, geez.
potentially. Everton Football Club has sacked Sean Dyche, something that we have been calling for on this podcast for a while now. Finally happens, and they bring in none other than club legend David Moyes. Obviously, has already been with the club, left us to go manage Manchester United. Now making his return, he's won European silverware with West Ham. Also got to a Europa semifinal with West Ham. So he's had some big time success, at least in terms of Everton's realm of what's possible. What does this mean? Moyes in charge. How much do you think he can actually change what's going on at this team? Because right now it's looking bleak at Everton.
I think this is a pretty good hire. He was obviously phenomenal for us for the first decade he coached. Legend of Everton. And I think this is about as good as we could do with getting rid of Deitch. There's not a whole lot of managers out there, good managers or managers with a name who are out of a job looking for something in January. We saw some of them go before. Graham Potter obviously went to West Ham. I was nervous that we wouldn't hire someone quickly, that it might be a long, drawn-out process, but the ownership acted quickly. Bringing back David Moyes, I think, will kind of instill some comfort in the club because it is such a hectic time. I think the players will latch onto him. He can inspire teams. We've seen it before. I think his only fault as a manager, I mean, he's got some faults, but biggest fault is stretching between multiple competitions, getting so heavily focused on European, where the Premier League season falls behind. We saw that at West Ham the last couple of years, but we don't have that problem at Everton. We only are in a couple of competitions. One of those is FA Cup and the other one is the league. So we won't get too stretched. This is a great piece of work on the ownership's end, bringing in this guy. It's not all we have to do. I think we still need to bring in some players this window. I don't know if that will happen. We've got outbid on a few guys that we were rumored with. And then all the other rumors have kind of gone away as far as I've seen. But as far as the manager, I think we're in good hands. I'm excited. I don't have great expectations for the rest of the season, except for comfortably staying up.
Yeah, I mean, you look at what he did with West Ham.
Expectation?
Excuse me.
Say that again.
What was that? What's the expectation?
That's the expectation, comfortably staying up?
That is my expectation for the rest of the
end
season.
of this year. I think next year those expectations go up. But I think right now you look at him and what he did with West Ham. They were in relegation base fight. They have money from their sales and from owners, and he's able to kind of parlay that into getting them to a different segment of the table, moving them up, getting him into European competitions. So you kind of see what he's been able to do with West Ham, and obviously winning a European trophy is just would be absurd. Would love that, but I think for this year, hopefully you can maybe bring in 1-2 players that can make some type of an impact here in January. But as long as he keeps us up this second half of the season and gets kind of the summer new ownership that can back him, give him some financial support, like I think that's when you really see it. Is next year you can really see what David Moyes is really cooking with, when he can get some players of his own choice, of his own backing in terms of transfers and all that. Nick, are you thinking something else for Everton here?
No, I just think like I thought in my head Everton was still in a relegation battle. I think comfortably staying up is a bit lofty. I don't expect I never expect anyone to make any January winter signings, you know. That is never anything that is something that should be taken for granted, even with money. I mean, it is so hard to get a deal done in January when people know you're desperate and people also need to find replacements and all this other stuff. Like, so, I mean, look at the two most recent January signings by Arsenal were Trossard and Jorginho, two guys who were frozen out of their respective teams. So I don't know. I think it's still survive and advance, and it's still going to be scrappy till the end. I would give you the tip of the cap because I like David Moyes. I think he is a great hire. Shout out to Everton's board, actually, because they fire him, and what is it? The next day they announce Moyes? Is that 2 days later, maybe?
Yeah, about
Yeah, it
2
was
days.
quick.
So I mean, they very clearly had a plan, So shout out to them for doing all that legwork and waiting for the right time, and for realizing they needed to get rid of Deitch. So I think it's a great move. I think it will result in staying up. I don't know about comfortable, but it makes me much more excited to see what you guys do in the summer. That's for sure.
Yeah,
I
it was
mean,
kind
when
of
that
an
was sent,
interesting sack as well. It seemed like Deitch talked with the board and kind of had said himself that the team had lost confidence in him, and he kind of lost confidence in his ability to do anything
Yeah,
with this.
but if you hire a guy the next day, like the board
You
knew,
had
like it
some
was.
idea.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think
I think David Moyes
he.
is lifelong Evertonian and is willing to do whatever for the club. So it probably wasn't too much of a hard convincing. But they definitely had him in mind if they were able to hire him so quickly. That's for
I also
sure.
think Sean Dyche can see the writing on the wall if the board is speaking
Yeah.
to him mid-season when he hasn't won and he
Anything?
hasn't really scored.
I think they did Deitch a
But
solid. You know what I mean?
when
Let him
when
say it.
they sacked Dyche and when we all sent that in the group chat, my first text back was, I hope they have somebody lined up. And they obviously did. They had David Moyes lined up. It's a good person lined up. They didn't just fire him
I
and
get credit for that.
say, okay, we're going to take a search. And, as much as I love Leighton Baines and Seamus Coleman, I don't think them in charge for too
That
long
would have been
was
that would have been
gonna-
insane.
But, Mike, it may not be a bit of a honeymoon. We have Villa, Spurs, and Brighton as his first 3 games. What do you want out of him in those 3?
A result, 2 results would be great. Like Nick said, it's still going to be a scrap. When I say comfortable staying up, it's going to be by like 2 games or something. It's not going to be a crazy amount of points. That's just kind of unrealistic with this current squad. But maximizing the players that we have, being willing to try some new guys, which Dyche was not willing to do. We saw some rotation in the FA Cup game. Some of that is we're playing Peterborough, lower division team. But guys like Nathan Patterson got a start for the first time this season, look really good at right back. Harrison Armstrong, our 17-year-old wonder boy, starts at right wing, a position we've lacked in all year. Jack Harrison and Jesper Lindstrom, neither of them have held it down, shown anything promising. And Harrison was the player of the match. I mean, looked really good. He's confident on the ball, takes players on, which we don't have outside of Ndiaye and McNeil when he's healthy. So if we can incorporate some of those guys into the team more going forward, that would be exciting. I'd be happy to see that. But bringing it back to this fixture, playing against Villa on the midweek, this is a tough game. It's at home. We have that going for us. New manager bounce. The fans are going to be excited. It's going to be a packed house, I'm sure. So the guys have to be ready to go. I think this is definitely a match where we can get a result. Villa are great at times, but they're in a real slump, not as scary as they were earlier this year. If we can hold them to a scrape or a gritty one where we don't let them have too many chances, we can hit them on a counter. I think we could get a win, but I'm expecting a draw at the least.
Listen, for the hope of Everton fans, we were up 2-0 on Aston Villa earlier in the season. Spurs have not looked great this season. They're sitting in, 12th, 14th?
Yep.
I mean, that's not something that we can't beat. And Brighton, they've been a yo-yo team. They're not in terms of relegation, but in terms of just up and down, in terms of how they're playing. They're a young squad. So if David Moyes can just implement how he wants to play in these 3 games, I'll be rather happy and make sure that everything's set for the next game after that, which is Leicester. That'll be massive in terms of points, but there's some opportunity here for Everton, and David Moyes, I think, is a great man to take charge. Nick, Liverpool, Nottingham Forest. Would this be a bigger statement win by Nottingham Forest, or would it be more of a hushing of the doubters for Liverpool, just kind of putting any type of quelling to the fact they might not win the title here?
Huge for Nottingham. I don't even know if that's debatable. I'm pretty sure the 3 of us would agree there. It would, put them 9 points clear of second place, Liverpool, on equal footing, and they'd still have a game in hand. So I'm expecting a Liverpool win, but Nottingham has been having a good year, very good year. The offense is lacking. I think that's going to hurt them against Liverpool, who Salah seems to be able to get whatever he wants at any moment in time, and the other guys are just kind of, playing their roles perfectly. They're filling in every time they can and kind of riding off his coattails in a good way, not disrespectful at all. They're providing like a lot of secondary scoring, which is great, which is all you need when you have a guy like Salah. So it would definitely be a huge statement for Nottingham. It would turn my B+ on their season into an A- if they win this game. So congratulations to Nottingham. But I don't see this going any other way than Liverpool giving Nottingham a dose of reality. Hope I'm wrong.
Mike, a lot of people in the comments already said that it is an A. Is there any way it gets even? I mean, if Nottingham Forest beats Liverpool as their only 2 losses in the Premier League, them up to potentially second in the Premier League. I mean, is that just delirium for Nottingham Forest? How does it get much bigger than that?
Doesn't get any bigger. You beat Liverpool in Anfield, and then you follow it up by beating them at the City Ground. I mean, then you start losing your mind. Like, then it seems like, okay, maybe we can really get Champions League this year. That's that kind of statement when that really cements it, especially this time of year. We flipped into 2025. This is when shit gets real. This is when the big teams, this is when City usually starts turning up. So these can count even
8-0
more.
on the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it would be massive for Liverpool. It'd be crippling. It's weird to say they're in a dip, but that's just how good they've been all year. And the last couple of matches, we've seen them slow down a bit with a loss against Tottenham in the Carabao and the draw against Man U in the last Premier League match. They looked beatable. They had some real shaky moments. Trent Alexander-Arnold's getting exposed. The center back options are not great, with Konate being kind of half injured and being forced to play all the minutes. So this is definitely a chance for Nottingham to do something. If they can prove it, play their best game of the season or one of the best games of the season, I totally expect that they can get a result.
Yeah, I mean, going to be an interesting one to watch. That is happening on Tuesday here. We do have some interesting
criminal that this is
games
happening on Tuesday, by the way. What the fuck, dude?
I mean, a lot of good games happening in the midweek and also the weekend. You have a game like Man U Brighton. I think that's we're gonna see if maybe Man U can capitalize on some momentum. On Brentford versus Liverpool will also be an interesting one to watch on the weekend. Just Brentford certainly can score some goals. But enough the Premier League matches. Let's get into the mid-year team of the season. Nick, start us off with some team of the season talk.
Yeah, I mean, do we want to start? What do you think, Trace? Up top or down in goal?
Let's start down in goal because there's a guy I want to talk about.
Well, then I'm not going to announce him. You take him.
Big JP, Jordan Pickford, is my goalie of the season so far. There's definitely some other deserving candidates, but I've watched damn near every Everton game this season. Not a lot of high points. Jordan Pickford might be the only one. He's been unreal. Really, really outstanding. Made a lot of tremendous saves. Kept us in games we didn't deserve to be in. I don't know what his expected goal performance is right now, but I'd imagine it's got to be pretty good. Distribution, he's always crucial. He takes a majority of our free kicks anywhere near our own half, and he's always playing long because that's our style. I think he'll continue to be massive under David Moyes. I don't expect that to change. You can't ask for more from your leader, the longest standing player at the club. Or one of them, excuse me. But I can't say enough good things about him this year.
I mean, there's shouts, I think, out there for Araya, for an Allison, for Sells, all guys who have allowed the least amount of goals in the league. Here's why Pickford is the right pick. Everton have scored 15 goals this season. 15 goals to not be in the relegation zone after only scoring 15 goals. I think that's like the lowest in the league, isn't it? Only Southampton have scored less goals than Everton. Think about that for a second. And that man has kept them alive in many games, has gotten them some points that they shouldn't have gotten. And in front of a truly uninspiring attacking group in Everton, he has been the man holding it down and anchoring that team. So I think Pickford is a perfect shout. Over to left back, we went with Mike's man Flags. I'll let you take yours.
I went with the obvious choice here. I think whether I'm American or not, it's Jedi Robinson. He is like what
Still
second
magic.
or third in the league in assists as a left back, which is just like ridiculous. And I mean, rumored to be potentially on the move to Liverpool and for some large fees. So I think, I mean, can you guys think of anybody else that you would realistically shout here as left back?
I cannot. I
No.
think he's the
I
only
mean,
choice.
yeah,
Bada bing, bada
he's a
boom.
stud.
Bang,
He's
bang.
a
Nick-
stud. And in a shallow left back market right now, I mean, I still think staying at Fulham isn't a bad career choice, but someone's going to pay for him, and Fulham's going to have to accept the bag that's coming their way. So, crazy.
It probably will be quite the bag. Nick, give us your center backs and we'll debate who those two should be.
I mean, I think there's three real options. I think the guarantee is Virgil van Dijk. He is returned to form this season. I think he has dipped a bit last year, probably due to some injuries on his part and on the rest of the team. Back to the world class defender that he is. I guess you could say four if you want to argue either Saliba or Gabriel, one of those two guys. I don't think both deserve to be in there, but like I've said, it feels like the structure is falling apart a little bit. We still have the fewest goals allowed in the league, so I don't want to disparage them in any way, but they're not I don't think they are what they were last year, which was far and away the best center back partnership in the world. And the guy who, I mean, talk about a bag that a team is going to get. Nottingham Forest is going to get a bag for Oscar Murillo. That man has been absolutely insane. They've only allowed 19 goals. We talked about Sells a little bit, and he has been the main man of the defense, making things look easy at times. And his pace and recovery is incredible. I went with Gabriel. I think he's just as good defensively, and he has scored some crucial goals for Arsenal, which I can't say the same about Murillo. And I think obviously the defender's job is to defend, but can't say enough about him coming up in big moments in big games. So I went Gabriel Van Dijk. What do you guys think about those?
I also
went
Van Dijk.
Murillo and Van Dijk.
I went with Van Dijk. I think that's the clear choice. He looks like he's back to his best. And then I actually went with Murillo as well. Honorable mention to his partner in crime, Nikola Milinkovic. He's also been outstanding for Nottingham, probably their signing of the year, unless you want to go with Elliot Anderson. But both of them have been massive. Gabriel and Saliba are obvious shouts as well, but it'd be Van Dijk, Murillo for me.
Yeah, I think
I'd give
Gabriel,
to- again,
Murillo are marginal.
I'm good with Murillo. Murillo's a stud. He is.
Yeah.
I love Gabriel too, obviously, but
How do you
he
spell
has
Murillo?
been a game changer.
Murillo.
Yep. There he is. Yep.
Beautiful.
All right, Mike, we are back to you for right back. Who have you gone with?
I think this was another unanimous one for us. Trent, no one like him in the world who plays that position. He's got a world-class talent with his ball striking abilities. He can really change games. He could score goals, pick a pass from literally anywhere on the field, which is special. And he's looked really great this season. There are talks of him maybe not getting along with Schlatt towards the beginning of the year, them having some arguments or whatever on the bench. That seemed to kind of gone away. He's locked down as the best in his position in the league, at least, if not the world. Yes, he has his flaws. He's not defensively always sound, but he makes up with it in the other areas in his game. I don't think there's another shout.
Yeah, I mean, I think what Nick said also with Van Dijk is a little bit similar to Trent, is he's also taking it back up another notch this year. And I mean, he still has some defensive deficiencies, but man, the pings that man can play are just absurd.
Unwieldy.
It's just unfair that when Arsenal have a low block, like we're just forced to have Odegaard and Saka constantly, and then Liverpool can just have their right back just play a 70-yard cross-field ball that just gets them a goal. Literally what got them a point against Arsenal earlier this year. He is a special talent. And again, same with Jedi. Pretty shallow position. I can't even think of another like what Wan-Bissaka's played well at West Ham and West Ham shit. Like I don't know. it's
I think
really
the only
Trent and
other
no one
shout
else.
is Mazraoui on Man U. I wouldn't put a Man U
No.
player in this, but he's been really, really good for them.
I'd put
Maybe
Munoz
offbeat.
over him, and Palace has been shit too.
All right.
All right. A lot of shit team right backs there. Let's move to the 6 where I'm up here. I've gone with Moises Caicedo, the big money man for Chelsea. If you would have told me a year ago I'd be choosing Moises Caicedo as a team of the season so far, I would have been maybe a little shocked. But this season he's really, I think, gotten away from the price tag and the pressure that was put on him, and under Enzo Maresca has played very well and kind of doing what he does. And I guess the second most tackles in the entire league right now. So he's doing what he needs to. What do you guys have for the 6, or do you guys agree?
I agreed. Yeah, I think this is another shallow position this season. Declan Rice, obviously great, but has struggled with injuries, been in and out of the team a little bit. And with Arsenal not looking as good as they did last year, I think his form has dipped a bit as well. Caicedo's definitely stood out. And with no Rodri around, the competition is definitely lighter.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
it is ridiculous that we don't play Declan Rice as a 6 every game. This man has played more games at the 10 for us than he has at the 6. So unfortunately, I think because of his usage and not, Arteta not really trusting other people at the 8, especially, I don't think it's fair at all to put Rice in there. Obviously, I think Rice is a better player, but if we're talking about this season, it's Caicedo and it's not close.
Yeah, I mean, Rodri's injury and Rice just not playing the 6 is kind of the reason why.
Another decent shout though is Tonali. Tonali's had a good year.
Yeah,
He had. He wasn't
Tonali.
even playing 6 for a while, and then they kind of switched him back and put Bruno higher up, and that's been a lot better for them. We've seen Newcastle kind of turn it around since they made that change.
Yeah, but he just hasn't done it as consistently.
Yep, needs more samples.
I believe you are up, Nick, for another one of the midfielders here.
Yeah, I think the 10 is going to be obvious. So let's get into it. I have no idea who to put at this 8. It is. I want to default to the outstanding league leaders that we've seen. I really like just about all their midfielders. All their midfielders feel so well rounded. It does feel like Gravenberch has had a bit of a coming out party this year, specifically under Schlot's system. So I think it's a really good shout. I mean, someone mentioned it earlier. I think it might have been Flags or maybe Mike. I don't know. But Anderson from Nottingham is
class.
Gibbs White gets a lot of talk. That Anderson kid, I don't know how Newcastle let him go because that kid is a fucking stud. I think he deserves a shout. I think there's a lot of names. Those are kind of the 2 that I was falling upon. Do you guys have some other guys you think we should consider there? Mike's going to say Enzo Fernandez, for fuck's sake.
I'm not going to say Enzo. I will say Mikel Damsgaard. Kind of interesting what position he plays, if he's higher up or if he's an 8. But
I don't even know.
He's special. I mean, the final ball he plays is up there with some of the best in the league. As good as Mbomo's been, we'll speak about some of those guys later. He's right up there. He is incredible talent, and he'd be right on that list for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think one other name that I put in there was Tyler Adams. Just real dog. Bournemouth wouldn't be the same without him. No, but I mean, I put Gravenberch as mine. I think, like you said, he's had a wild coming out for Liverpool this season. Everybody already always knew that he was so talented when he was at Bayern, just never got play time. And that's why he had such a large fee for a player that was so young and had never really played for Bayern to come to Liverpool. And I mean, it's kind of showing that reason this season. It's kind of all being justified right now. So I went with Gravenberch. And then
I think it's a good pick.
Mike, the number 10, I think maybe easy, but we'll see what you say. Who's your number 10?
Yeah, if we're gonna play a 10, it's got to be Cole Palmer. I don't think there's another answer. The guys who would compete, just have had injuries or real dips in their form. So he kind of stands alone. He does everything. I mean, Chelsea's got a number of good attacking players, but no one like these guys.
Yeah, Palmer, you need to get rid of the all positions center mid. You just need to clear that.
My
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
I was looking
There you
like
go.
I know what he looks like.
Hilarious. I think the argument
Is
that
our
people are
producer.
trying to have
I'm fucking trying
and
here,
will
dude.
continue to have as he gets better and better is, did Man City fuck up by letting him go? I think the answer is starting to look like yes.
Yeah.
Because he might be better than Foden. He definitely is this season. Special player, has to be there.
Yeah, I mean, they could certainly use him this season. That is very much for certain with their aging roster and the struggles they've been having. To have Cole Palmer, yikes, they're probably kicking themselves. Only 40 million for him, which was crazy large fee at the moment for an academy player,
Now it
but
seems like a big bargain.
now it is a bargain. Let's go to the front line where I don't know. Will we see some surprises here? I will start with the obvious one. I'll go with the right wing, and I went with Salah. Is there any way you could really argue against him?
Gabriel Martinelli is probably faster.
He's still going to get
Maybe.
to 20 goals and assists. So
Yeah, I mean it's solid, and if you wanted to make if you can make an 11 out of all Salahs, it might be better than whatever 11 we make here, based on how he's playing this year. So
yeah, I mean,
that kid's a stud.
He is absurd. Liverpool need to do everything in their power to keep him at Liverpool.
Rumors he's gone to Saudi, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw that.
That's what I saw.
That
Going to Saudi in the
Liverpool can't let
summer,
that happen.
waiting to find out which club it'll be. That's funny how that works.
That's an amazing
Yeah.
tweet. I love reading that. Yeah.
Nick,
No arguments.
choose left winger or striker and give us your pick.
I think both of these might have a few names tossed around. I'll go to striker. I'm going with another Nottingham dude. Give me Chris Woodini.
Oh God.
Wood.
Oh, wow.
There's a few guys who are deserving, but I think Wood is definitely up there. Scored so many goals. I think he's on 12 goals already for Nottingham. No one else of that team is close, so he's kind of doing it all. And he scored a bunch of different goals. He's a tricky guy, fox in the box for sure, but he's been really, really good. And this wasn't his job last year. I mean, Taiwo was starter a lot of the season, so he's kind of come back and grabbed it and doesn't look like he's going to let go anytime soon.
Nick, who did you put as your striker for your team this season so far?
I didn't put Chris fucking Wood. I'll tell you that. Listen, I think you can still go Holland and be absolutely right. I mean, he scored 16, obviously in the worst dip of your life. I don't care, but if you're leading the league, well, I guess Salah's leading it right now. But still, 16 there is absolutely insane, especially in a weaker Man City side. I went Isak. I think he has been better all around. You guys know me. I'm just completely infatuated with Alexander Isak, and I think he's an absolute stud. And the way he moves, it's just humans don't move like that. Like professional footballers don't move like that. He stands out amongst like the elite athletes of the world, and so he's an amazing player. He's an amazing dribbler, links up very well, a good finisher. Struggles still with some sports of inconsistency, but he has 13 in the league right now, and we're halfway through the year. That's a hell of a total. So I'd go Isak. I'm just going to say it because, I love me some Wolves. Mateus Cunha does not deserve to be on this, but deserves a shout for having an amazing season. What a player that guy is. I'd be very happy if Arsenal got him, by the way, as well as Mbomo, either of those guys. Or just get me Isak. But I went with Isak. Shout out to Chris Wood, but he's not half the player that Isak is.
Honorable mention. I do think Isak. I did put Isak, and I think he plays better. But I like Chris Wood. No, keep him there. Keep Chris Wood there.
No.
Isak in. Do not
put
put
better player. We're talking
What are
about
we
who's
doing?
having the best season so far.
But
he scored more than Wood.
Hey! The things that Chris Wood has done with a less talented side in Nottingham Forest. I mean, he has been something else for Nottingham Forest this season. So I'm saying Chris Wood. Put him up top for a team this season so far.
Who's played better this year, Newcastle or Nottingham?
Nottingham.
I mean,
All right, well, there you go.
Nottingham.
Isak has more goals than a worse team. How are we discussing this? It's Isak.
Yeah,
He
but
put up a higher
it's a more
percentage of their
talented-
team's goals. Chris Wood
it's
he's doing it all.
Newcastle's a more talented team. They have more talent surrounded Isak. Chris Wood he's LeBroning right now.
He is
So
LeBron.
at least at this point in the season, I'm giving him his flowers. Nick, you do get control of the final slot here. Left wing, who are you putting in?
I mean, I hope this guy goes to Saudi so he can finally actually take his position in some of these starting 11s. It's Bukayo Saka. I know I'm going to hear Mbomo shouts. I know I'm going to hear Visa shouts. Just shut up. Bukayo Saka has 20 goals and assists. He's missed the last 4 games. He is. Look at Arsenal without him, for fuck's sake. Like, he is everything to this team. He is consistently the best player on the pitch every time he's on there. I said it at the start of the year. This is a year that we call him world class, and I'm not backing off that take despite the injury. The man is world class. He's the second best player in the Prem. He's the reason Arsenal are in second, even while injured, if we're being honest, especially with Odegaard out for so long. So it's Bukayo Saka. It's not close. Yes, Mbomo has 3 more goals, but Saka was the first guy to 10 goals, 10 assists this season. And he'd be right up there. Maybe not right with Salah because he's obviously on another level at the moment, but Saka's the best player in the Prem, not named Mohamed Salah.
Mbomo has 8 more goals than him in the league this season, brother. Bukayo Saka's on 5 goals in the league.
Is that true?
Facts. Bukayo Saka, obviously a class player, but it's got to be Mbomo. For me, he's doing it all. He's turned it up a whole nother notch. He's definitely been underrated his whole career. The last couple of seasons, he's been great, but looks special this season. Really does it all. His stats don't lie for sure, but he does so much more than that. Like, dude is unplayable. Nightmare for opposition fullbacks. He'd be my shout at left wing, even though he's not a left wing.
I mean, I think if we're not doing left wing at left wing, I was thinking Saka as my my left wing, just moving him over from the right, because I mean, what he means to Arsenal and just watching him play, he is a different gravy type of player. I think even watching Arsenal without Saka is maybe even more of a case, because the difference in the way Arsenal play with this guy out there versus not, I mean, he's not just, oh, he scored some goals and got some assists. He's not just getting some goal tallies. He is, as Nick said, he is the entire attack. He is the entire engine of this team. The only reason that it works so well, the only reason that the attack we thought was, oh my God, Arsenal's attack is so nice, it's Saka. I mean, he's just so dangerous. So I put him there, but certainly
Also,
like the shout.
He also has way more responsibility. He gets triple teamed every single game that he's out there. And Bomo is a finishing monster, a transition beast, and is not shabby on the ball himself. But I know it's just this season, and I would still argue still this season up in the halfway point. Even with the injury, Saka's been the better player.
I mean, Mbomo's had a hell of a season, but yeah, I mean, Saka's
I love Mbomo.
And an absurd player.
We can give the benefit of the doubt to the team who's higher in the table. I'll give an honorable shout. No way he deserves it, but Iliman and Di been magic on the left wing for Everton.
He's
so he gets my shout anyway.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Iliman
I give
is
a honorable shout.
Manager?
No way he deserves it to Matt Turner.
Manager. There's only one.
Arne Slot or Nuno?
Nuno deserves a definite shout, but it's Arne Slot for sure.
It's Arne Slot. What are we talking about? Come on.
It's first year.
It is.
First year. And
it's Arne Slot, and it's not close.
Nuno for what he's doing with Nottingham, but Arne is just...
Yes, but it's Arne Slot, and it's not close.
Running like a well-oiled machine. Yeah. Hasn't skipped...
Listen, he doesn't deserve it, but honorable shout, David Moyes. It's been a hell of a week.
Welcome back, David.
I mean, David Moyes is about to get Champions League football, so by the end of the season...
I don't even know if it's mathematically possible, but he might.
I don't see how it could not be. We just win every single game. That's just all we have to do. Easy as that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move into the lock of the week, or let's do a little bit of a recap here. Palm, if you can show all of that for the viewers for one final look.
And zoom out. There you go.
There we go. So we got Saka, Woods, Salah, Graffenbuch, Caicedo, and Cole Palmer, and Jedi Robinson, Van Dijk, Murillo, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and Jordan Pickford as our team this season so far. Let's get into some locks of the week. It's been a minute, boys, here. Let's start with you, Nico. This is definitely not week 17 anymore. Oopsies.
Jesus
what
Christ. I
have you
don't even remember the
gone with?
results.
What week is it?
It's 21? 21?
20
Jesus.
I mean, it's a midweek and a weekend, and we're just doing one, so it's not going to get any better. But Nick, what is your lock of the week pick here?
Shout out to Wolves for not being in the relegation zone. I'm going Newcastle 3, Wolves 1, allowing me to make that pick.
Nice. Good job, Wolves. Mostly just
Well
Cunha.
done.
Good job, Cunha.
Oh, boy.
Damn,
Alright,
we haven't done
who's-
locks in the week in 3-4 weeks. Damn.
I mean, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. That's
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Well, we need to
that's
do
gonna,
this
that's gonna
week
do it to
anyway
you.
because we have midweek fixtures and weekend fixtures. I'll knock my 2 out of the way. West Ham 2, Fulham 2. That is week 21. And then for week 22, I'll go Brentford 1, Liverpool 3.
No respect to Brandon Bomo. Just put him in his team of the season and gets dog luck.
He'll score. He'll score, but they're going to get dunked on.
I'll do my second one while Flags gets himself situated.
Jesus.
I'll go fucking. Let's go Everton 1, Tottenham 1. We ride with David Moyes. We ride
Hell
with Moyes.
yeah. Hell
Let's
yeah.
fucking go.
Let's fucking ride. Let's go.
We ride.
David Moyes. We ride.
Hey, you better hope we don't get creamed in the midweek because we might drop into relegation, and then your pick is void, bro.
True, dude.
No, I get him, bro. I get this. No way.
Okay.
Yeah, we beat Villa. Don't worry. My 2 picks for week 21 is going to be Manchester City 3, Brentford 1,
Oh,
and then my week 22 pick is going to be Manchester United 0, Brighton 1.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I thought of that
one
exact
goal
scoreline,
game.
honestly.
I was going to put it as
Definitely
2-1, and I was like, there's no way that both these fucking teams score.
I thought either 1-0 or 2-0 Brighton.
I can see it as a 1-1 max. There's not more than 2 goals in that game. It's gonna be like a 7-7 game.
Did
Just gonna say
Liverpool
that,
beat
but,
Fulham?
Game of the season.
Liverpool
That was a tie.
did- Oh,
That was a tie.
Wait,
Damn.
it's not going to let me do the thing.
I think
so
none of
that's
those
a
hit,
tie.
right?
That's a tie.
What was Chelsea Brentford?
I don't remember Chelsea Brentford.
Gunners Toffees was a draw, yeah.
Yeah. Relax. Chelsea won that game, but it was 2-1.
2-1 with a
Boys,
red card, so it
we're
doesn't
not
count.
getting better as the season goes on. Just putting that out there.
We're actually getting worse. Is the
Actually, getting
correct word.
worse. Some would say.
We went 0.5 out of 3
There
right
we
there.
go.
Not bad.
Give me my point. Give me my point. I'm back in it, baby. I'm back in it. All right, Mike at 10,
Jesus.
me and Nick at 8. It is a race towards the end here. Boy, me and Nick could have used those extra 4 weeks to make up some ground on Mike, but that's okay. Happy holidays.
Listen, if we were in a bigger league of Pick'em, we would all be in the relegation zone. 3 of us. We're just the bottom 3 battling it out.
Brutal. We need to see some
Yeah, I
greens
know.
on there.
Last season, we did so significantly better than this. I don't
Yeah, it was
understand
crazy.
how we've gotten dumber through more times. But anyways, speaking of getting dumber, let's go into the U.S. men's national team corner. January camp. Let's go. We play against Venezuela on January 18th here. Mike, what can we learn from this game? It's, Camp Cupcake, and we're playing against Venezuela, who I can't imagine sending anybody that amazing either. But is there something we can take out of this game that's going to have any type of real lesson for Pochettino?
If we can get young players to play a system, or like if we have some guys show out a little bit, maybe they can get consideration in future camps. But other than that, I don't think we learned much.
Nick, is this really just we watch for Diego Luna and that's really it?
Brian Gutierrez,
Brother.
thank you.
This might be, not allowed to say on this pod, but I don't even know if we watch. I don't know if I watch.
We'll be watching. We'll be watching.
Oh,
will
Flags
be,
hasn't-
Mike did confirm he would watch last pod. It is required.
said
I am.
Probably.
I'm going to be locked into our group chat to see what Flags has to say about this game. I guarantee that.
I don't know if
Half
I'll
that I
have strong
don't know.
opinions, but I will be watching. But if we get fucking murdered, I'll be like, okay, all right. Well, I guess that Walker Zimmerman's no longer in contention. Or
Dude, I told you guys, Venezuela's going to have a soccer renaissance. It's going to happen.
Oh, yeah, you did say that. Yeah,
They have bigger problems to deal with.
Vino
I think.
Tinto.
all right,
Dude, that's why they're going
we'll
to
see
be
what
good.
happens. It's a massive game here. Massive game. Everybody get some eyes on this one. But outside of this January camp, let's go to our real players. It's a little rude, but
No respect for
Pepe-
Simrium.
Pepe, who you can see there at Augsburg, if he's gonna pull up the fucking picture here,
No, he's not. He's
There we
just
go.
gonna hover.
I hover, bro.
he's just gonna fucking tease me like that. Pepe at Augsburg. Interesting, Augsburg. That'll come back later. But Pepe will not be leaving PSV in January. Ernie Stewart has confirmed that. Richie Ledesma has been balling for them as right back, but maybe not for too long because Serginho Dest was training back with the group again. So that is some massive news for the U.S. men's national team. And the reason I speak of Augsburg is we have a new center back prospect, not really new because he's been known and extremely good at the U20 level. Noah Kai Banks. My bet, I said he was going to break out at Augsburg this season in our Twitter X predictions that we sent out at the start of the year. Here, he gets his debut for Augsburg as center back, subbed in the 29th minute due to an injury to their starter. And he did pretty well. Got a 6.8 rating, had a couple interceptions, great passing. He is a absurdly good, maybe a little too comfortable on the ball center back. So a sight for sore eyes with our center back pool who seem allergic to the ball at times, or at least allergic to being comfortable with it. He's definitely a big prospect to watch, and certainly if he can be playing for Augsburg at his age, that is going to be massive for us. He's also extremely tall. I think he's like 6'4", 6'5", so he is a big boy out there. Paxton Aaronson.
Any chance for 2026?
I mean, shit, with our center back pool potentially, if he's playing in the Bundesliga, who's really keeping him that far down, I guess.
Arnie Chase.
Arnie Chase, potentially. I hope so. Paxton Aaronson also got a goal, speaking of young Americans. And then the Red Rocket in England, Josh Sargent, is back. He made his return in the FA Cup. Hopefully he can get back to his scoring ways. The Sarge. Mike, we're about 2 months away from the Nations League camp. What do you want to see the most from players before that starts, before Pochettino really gets his first, I don't know, real shot at a competitive trophy here?
Form. I hope Pulisic stays at his level. I mean, unreal. McKennie and Weah keep doing their thing. Tyler Adams playing consistent minutes is huge. We haven't had that in so long. It's unreal. And if there's any chance that Serginho is ready to go, I doubt it. That seems like a little bit of a stretch. He needs to be back in that camp. We need to see him with Poach immediately. Special player. Other than that, yeah, it's just got to be form, dude. Shout out Matt Turner. He played in the FA Cup, looked good. So he's still in his name in contention, but he's not going to have very many chances. A lot of these guys are going to have few chances, so maximize them.
Yeah. Speaking of McKennie, you said at Juventus, keep doing what he's doing. Nick, is it in any way concerning that he's playing left back instead of center mid? Is it better just to have him playing 90 minutes and playing every single game starting, but it's at left back? If he's going to be playing center mid, obviously he's not going to be playing left back for us.
You never know.
Yeah, it's concerning. It's concerning for sure. It's already hard enough to get your tactics through and your message through in an international camp. To have a guy who's being told something completely different, completely different position, is definitely a huge adjustment. He's a player that I think has proven throughout his career to be really adaptable. So hopefully that helps him a little bit. But it's not a concern, I would say. I would much rather see him playing in his true position. Or, I mean, to be fair, he's being asked to play right mid right now for Poch, the last time we saw him there. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't love it. But I guess if he's going to be at Juve, better that he's playing than he's not.
Yeah, I mean, he could be in a way a situation where he's kind of off and on starting in a rotation, and McKennie was starting in the midfield, and then they need a left back, and they go, hey, McKennie can probably play there, as they do with really just about any position that they need. So, I mean, they at least trust McKennie, and he's honestly playing pretty good. So, there's that. But, boys, let's get to final thoughts here. David Moyes in some big moments ahead for Arsenal. What do you want to leave the viewers on? Nick, we'll start with you.
I mean, there is just such a high volatility of how you're going to see me the next time we do this pod. I am hoping and praying that it is a confident and renewed Nico on the pod. It could be the lowest point of the season come next Monday. So we have our fingers crossed. We are backing the boys. We are backing whatever starting 11 we're able to scrap together. Big North London derby. Be there. Watch it. Stay tuned. We'll definitely be doing a reaction video after that, and then another big game at the weekend. So exciting time. Let's go ahead and prove that we belong in this title race so we can scrap our way back in at some point. And let's live on a prayer, baby. Up the Gunners.
Mike, David Moyes era has begun. Close out the pod with some beautiful words about our fearless leader.
Farewell, Sean Dyche, first and foremost. He will be missed. There were some good times, a lot of tough times, but no bad words to say about the man. He did a job. David Moyes is at the fucking wheel, and we're straight into the gauntlet. No easy matches. 3 in a row. Bang, bang, bang. Turn up. Turn me up, David. I need some results. I need something to get pumped for. And I am excited. If he gets me at least a win and a draw in one of these 3 games, I will be buying a kit. Mark it here first. It's always good being a Barcelona fan, especially when we beat Madrid. Things are looking good. I'm choosing to be positive. Don't crush my dreams.
And the Bears are hiring who, Mike? David Moyes, Sean Dyche.
Sean Dyche at the wheel.
You heard it here first. New Bears coach is Mr. Sean Dyche. Until next time, peace.
Up your
Up the Gunners.